Every team in the Champions League is a tough one, so first of all we're happy that we are through now because it was a tough group stage, let's say, for us. It was not easy. In the end we are through, what's the most important, and then whoever comes will be difficult, so it doesn't matter.
How deep did you have to deep out there tonight as a team, because you had to come from behind?
Yeah, very, because it's obviously a game with a lot of pressure. We had to win, but I think the first half was not bad, but we just couldn't score, couldn't get the chances. Then we concede in the first chance, and in the end, yeah, we are happy that we scored, that we could win this game, and in the end we had a pretty good game, I think.
What was it like in the dressing room at half-time? Was that one of Pep's biggest half-time talks?
I don't know if one of the biggest, but was good for sure, because we came out very well. So we knew that we need to step up because the first half was not enough. Second half we showed a great character, great desire to win, to go through, and the crowd was behind us, so amazing atmosphere today.
Was there a sense of remembering your identity in this competition and everything that City has been represented the last couple of years? I mean, 2 of the last 4 finals you've been in. Was that important to you all tonight?
It was, because we knew we are here to go through, to be in the next stages. We are a good team. We can be there, and today we showed that we have a great character. We come back from 1-0 down, and that's what great team does.
I believe we got that player of the match trophy in your hand as well. Enjoy tonight. Thank you. Well done.
Their way in the second half. They really, really needed this victory, and they are through to the knockout rounds of the next phase of this competition. Easy, right?
Second half was easier. The first half was a
Never
tough
in
watch.
doubt.
Yeah, first half was a tough watch. I thought Club Brugge.
And it doesn't take much to recognise where the space is and where the threat is potentially. And as I said here now, for me, the defender has to hold his position a little bit longer and then allows Kovacic to run into him. He opens up the space for him, and it's a great finish.
But that's what happens when you play against low blocks like this. You have to commit people, and by doing that, it's man with the ball, or you're going to continue to stay in your slot, in your space. And the defender done that. He stayed in his slot that second too long, and then were punished.
Yeah. Speaking about being punished, I mean, Bruges had a trio of really decent chances to go back ahead. But then they were punished. I mean, you know, Ordóñez, one of, the star players of this competition so far, with the own goal to make it 2-1. I mean, that's a hard one for him to stomach.
Yeah, of course, and unfortunately for him and the team,
The goal to put the game to bed, and it was the game, was textbook. But it's all about timing, giving him that space. It's a winger having to follow a winger, which always inevitably the attack you see well.
oh, it's an amazing touch. Checks it across the defender, even though it isn't an attacking player, takes it across him, nullifies the threat, and then shows great composure and skill to execute with his so-called weaker foot.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we say, it put the game to bed. It put City through to the knockout rounds. As it stands, Club Brugge are through to the knockout rounds as well, but the players are actually still out on the pitch, surrounded by the group of away fans over there, and they're all nervously looking at their phones. They're all talking and huddling, and they're all just trying to see, because there are still games in play at the moment. But as I say, as it stands, they are occupying that final qualification spot into the knockout rounds as an unseeded side. They're currently in 24th place. You can see they're looking at their phones there. And just a word on Club Brugge. I mean, the way they've conducted themselves in the competitions, they can really hold their heads high. And in this game as well, even in defeat, they really, really put Manchester City under the highest amount of pressure.
Yeah, they got some good results. I mean, beating Sporting Lisbon, a draw with Juventus, some big teams there, do you know what I mean? They beat Villa. So they're a team that know how to get results in this tournament. And I think that showed, especially in the first half, the way they were to be able to play through the press, over the press, around the press, using the artillery that they had, which was pace on the counter-attack. But the ball retention in those moments, I thought was very, very impressive. And a team that looks well coached in all areas.
Yeah, echo that. Very well coached, understand their roles and responsibility, and on another night come away with more points and more outcome out from this game. But listen, they showed a great account of themselves today. They lost the game, but can still celebrate as they're into the knockout.
Imagine that they go through here. I mean, the celebrations in that corner are going to be crazy.
We're just waiting, actually, because everyone's still out on the pitch here at the Etihad. I mean, these are nervy moments. I mean, they are as good as through. It take a massive goal string from GNK Dinamo, who are currently in 25th position at the moment, which is the elimination spots. And Bruges, as I say, are occupying that final position in 24th. But for Manchester City, look, I mean, they've picked up some form in the Premier League, and now they have done what they needed to do in this competition. It's been a rocky road for them this season. It's been a Manchester City side that have faced challenges we just haven't seen them take on before, and they haven't faced them well. They've faltered at so many hurdles. But can this be a springboard for them for the next phase of the season and what's remaining in all the competitions that they're in?
Hopefully that's the case. Listen, they're performing like a cup team at the moment in time. They're not putting enough consistency in performances together to maintain or to pose a threat in the league. But in cup competitions, you don't necessarily need to be good. You need to be more lucky, and they are able to put 45-an-hour games together and score a number amount of goals. But later on in the competition, you may need to put a strong 90 minutes, may need to be 180 minutes in regards to 2 legs. So at the moment,
game of that magnitude to kind of really get yourself mentally back in a good state. Oh, we can hear some noise in that corner. It seems like they've gone through.
Great.
There you go.
Sorry, Rio. Yeah, you've got to be interrupted there. Bruges have been confirmed in the playoffs. They absolutely deserve it for the performances that they've put into this competition. What a campaign they've had so far. Their fans have made the trip across to Manchester, celebrating, enjoying it. Really lovely scenes here. We can hear them here from where we are pitchside. Fantastic stuff for Club Brugge in 24th place. Like Manchester City, they will be in the knockout rounds, unseeded of course, which means they'll be away from home in those second rounds, which makes it a little bit more difficult, but those positions are now confirmed. Manchester City 22nd, Bruges in 24th. But going back to Manchester City, despite that huge potential tie against, one of the favourites will be Real Madrid, and actually I can tell you that it's just been confirmed that they will be playing either Real Madrid or Bayern Munich. So as you were saying, Rio, just picking up from where you went off, that sometimes it does take a tie of that magnitude to kind of get back and remember exactly who you are as a team.
It's a chance to remind everybody, isn't it? It's a chance to remind everybody who you actually are, what you're about, this quality that you have in your team, and you have the ability to beat anyone in your day. And like Julian said, this is becoming maybe a cup team this season, based on the fact that the league kind of seems to be out of their reach. So Man City aren't a team that anyone would want, but equally Real Madrid or Bayern Munich aren't a team that anyone would want at this stage of the tournament. But I think we're in a great place. This new format is throwing up different propositions now, and a lot of people question it. Was it good? Is it a good format? We're getting the answers now, because today was a great game on the last day of the qualifying campaign. Normally, you don't really get that.
Absolutely.
With a team like City's stature, but it's great for these guys over here. We can hear behind us, but that game, the knockout game, I'm looking forward to getting to that.
Julian, the nerves will be like that.
Yeah, definitely. But 2 great teams. Obviously, you're looking at Real Madrid, you're looking at Bayern Munich, the prestige in this competition. So it's not going to be easy, but like Rio said, neither a team that either want to face.
At 8 p.m, the players just being put through their paces as they warm up for this one. Aston Villa, of course, with a chance to book their place in the top 8 if they can get the right result this evening, and some other results of course go their way. We've touched on Ollie Watkins and John Duran. What about the other difference makers as far as Aston Villa are concerned, Stan?
Morgan Rogers, I'll say he has really become a key player for Aston Villa. I mean, his ability to dribble with the ball, to take people on, the physicality, the way he matures every single game. But also a couple of games ago I've watched him and they've kind of closed the space, he couldn't find a space and he drifts wide. He goes for a kill, which makes a big difference.
All the top teams are looking for driving forwards like that. They're players who are prepared to. West Bromwich Albion, I think, as a kid, and then went to Manchester City. But each year he seems to be getting stronger and stronger. He's definitely a talent.
Yeah, still just 22 years of age, so it's a big night for him. It's also a big night for Adam Ida. We spoke earlier, didn't we, just about Maeda and Kyogo and that running power that Celtic are missing tonight. Adam Ida offers something very, very different. But how big an opportunity is this for him, particularly if Celtic are to bring, so he didn't, he came off the bench. Were you surprised that Kyogo was allowed to leave, that he did leave during this window?
Yeah, I am surprised, really. I thought that as a manager, you want to keep your players, you want to keep somebody who has proven himself, and Kyogo was. Brendan touched on it there earlier in his interview, and it'll be a disappointment to him, I think, to have lost him. But this, as Stan says, this is a big, big moment now for Ida. He's got to try and do something. He's come there for comparatively big money for start. Secondly, he's played second fiddle essentially to Kyogo. He's come on in little bits. Did fine when he came first of all, but now that he's going to have to be the main man for a little while anyway, it looks at, then it is a big thing for him.
It certainly is. It's a huge night for Adam Ida and for Celtic. We're counting down to kick off here on a unique night in the Champions League. 18 matches played simultaneously.
That will be in the starting 11. The rest are pretty much reserve team players. So, yeah, be looking to Gakpo for inspiration tonight.
Yeah, heading back home and also returning home as well with a point to prove is Arne Slot as well, renewing the great rivalry with PSV that he enjoyed in his 3 seasons at Feyenoord. 2/3 through his first season at Liverpool, his side are still in the hunt for 4 trophies.
At the fixtures for tonight and have a look at some of those that might be significant and important. I mean, a Battle of Britain at Villa Park. Villa can still squeeze into the top 8. Celtic are assured of a playoff place. Barcelona, we know, will finish either first or second. Well, they can finish below second actually, but could still finish first. Atalanta at the moment in one of those top 8 places. Bayern Munich start the night in the playoff places against Slovan Bratislava, already out. Last year's beaten finalist Borussia Dortmund the same. Brest will still have hopes of squeezing into the top 8, as will the reigning champions Real Madrid. AC Milan and Arsenal, both away from home, start the night in the top 8. Inter Milan with the best defence in the Champions League, also in the automatic qualification places. Monaco in the playoffs at the moment. Juve in those playoff places for now. Manchester City, as we know, have to win. They start the night on the outside looking in and will need to beat Club Brugge if they want to get through to the playoff round. Atletico Madrid, another of those sides currently in that top 8. Paris Saint-Germain, with that big comeback win against City last week, means that they are in the playoff places as things stand. Let's just have a look then, if we can, at how the league is looking. So there you go, that's the top 8 at the moment. Liverpool, we know, will finish either first or second. As to who are in maybe sort of 5th down to 8th, could be one of an absolute host of clubs. And as we said, Manchester City need to win at the Etihad against Club Brugge if they want to make it through to the playoffs. So, as things stand, if Liverpool finish first or second, which we know they already have to, they will play 15th, 16th, 17th or 18th in the round of 16. We don't think it'll finish like this, but at the moment, that would be either Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Juventus or Celtic, which you would argue, say, thanks very much for winning 7 or 8 games out of 8. That's what you get. But as I said, I'll be amazed if it finishes like that come the end of the night. But we're looking all over the place as to what could potentially happen, but it is fascinating.
The only
Really have a choice tonight?
No, not much. Ruben is out and the new signs cannot play, and Nathan also is out. So we had Manu and now John is back.
You're a team that have got experience of these type of all or nothing games. How much is that going to help you tonight?
I would love to say yes a lot, but every game is different, the seasons are different, and the opponents, the competition. But of course, at the end, the question is, mark is so simple. So if we win, we go through. If we lose, we are out. It normally happens in second legs and knockout stages. So today is that case.
What are you expecting from Club Brugge, and sort of what are you going to say to your players to get this over the line tonight?
I always expect the best for opponents. It's a good way to be prepared, to be ready.
All right, we wait to see. Thanks, Fab.
Well, what a manager to have in charge on a big night like this when the stakes really are so high. What about Club Brugge then, or Club Brugge, depending on where you're from and how you pronounce it. But they only need a draw tonight, and they're definitely no pushovers. They beat Villa, they beat Sporting, they took a point off Juve and Celtic as well. And they're actually unbeaten in their last 20 in all competitions. They're going to come here with no fear, and they could actually just park the bus, couldn't they?
That's what I'm intrigued to see. I'm intrigued to see how they approach this game. Yes, they're in form. Yes, they're a team that are confident. They've been to places in Europe and got very good results this season against some very big teams, like you just mentioned. coming here against a normally confident City team, you'd expect a team to go, right, we're going to sacrifice possession, play a bit of a lower block and hope to get something on the counter-attack. I'm just interested to see how they set up. That's the first 5 minutes will be definitely a good indicator as to how they do. But they have a talented bunch and they're a team that are winning and consistent. So again, that in itself poses a problem to this Man City team if they don't start in the way that they should with a bit of positivity.
Yeah, but Jolien, you know, we've been watching the guys warming up behind us. You've noticed something that potentially could combat Bruges tonight.
Yeah, I was at the game on the weekend and noticed they took a different approach to the warm-up. A lot of players, especially the front players, setting up in their positions they're going to play in and doing a lot of crossing and finishing and getting numbers in the box. And as I said, I've been to a few City games over the years and I've not seen this. And like I said, it's an indicator that they expect to have possession high up the pitch and hopefully to get to a lot of crosses in the box.
And someone who could be key to Manchester City tonight is Phil Foden. I mean, look, since the start of the year, 6 games, 6 goals, 2 assists. And I suppose what Manchester City need is the Foden of last season to really turn up for this part of the season when, you know, it is so important and so crucial to get those results.
But it isn't just the Foden of last season, it's the Foden that we know. And he's been accustomed to playing every season since he's been in the team. I think for the first half of this season, he was probably unfairly judged and measured by his own standards, which has been ridiculously high throughout his career. But yeah, in recent weeks, he's been exceptional in terms of goal scoring. And he probably hasn't controlled the game as well as he'd like to get as many touches as he likes, but he's defining games, and that's a sign of a top player is the ability to just define games with moments.
I think all these clips here are one of the key things that he's added to his game in the last 6 games especially. His intent to get into the danger areas, into the box to affect the game here, running beyond the striker here, not backing play up. Here again, getting laid off by Haaland. That's always usually Haaland or De Bruyne running onto things. He's now starting to introduce that, and he's going to get more opportunities, he's going to get more goals if he continues to do that.
Yeah, one thing that is probably surprising to a lot of people, especially when you play against him, is how fast he is. So when he does open up his legs and he's maximum stride, he's able to get away from players.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, you can see we've had a bit of a change of scenery here now, pitch side. With Manchester City and the capitulations that we've seen of late, have they lost that sheen of invincibility, do you think? And does that give Club Brugge a bit of hope coming into this?
In moments, of course it does. It'll give them fragilities in their personal confidence and pride as well. Obviously going ahead against Paris, thinking they've done enough. I certainly thought they'd done enough, especially with 2 goals. But again, it's not enough at the moment in time. So this game won't be over until the final whistle is blown, regardless of the score.
It's funny, it takes a long time to build up that kind of reputation and that kind of aura where it builds a fear factor before you play a game. I was fortunate to be involved in a team that kind of built that up. But it's surprising, or it shouldn't be surprising, how quick that can kind of disintegrate before your eyes. A few bad performances or big games where it doesn't happen for you and you lose games. All of a sudden, people start coming in with their chest out that would normally walk in hunchback into a stadium against you.
It is absolutely fascinating, isn't it, tonight, just to see how this match is going to pan out. Kickoff is fast approaching on this massive must-win evening for Manchester City. These fans here in the stadium, they're only used to feeling on the edge of their seats at the latter stages of this competition. Tonight, though, you can feel the tension in the air as their European campaign hangs in the balance. It is the final round of the league phase, kicking off alongside 17 other matches